Hey, it's Natalie.
Hey y'all, it's Madeline.
And I'm Autumn, and this is TWT.
Hey guys, this is Madeline, and this is another episode of TWT. So this episode, we're going to be talking about a great student organization on campus. You may have heard of it. It's called SGA. And our special guest to talk about SGA is someone that I've known. Literally, I met her my very first class of my very first day ever in college. Our SGA president this year, Miss Elizabeth. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit, Elizabeth?
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. I can't believe I've known you almost your whole college career.
No, literally my whole college career.
I'm so glad to have met you. So my name is Elizabeth Ramirez, and I'm this year's SGA president. I've previously served on SGA for as long as I've known Madeline, for the past 3 years. I'm a political science major with a minor in Spanish, and this is my last year on campus and last year at TW, so bittersweet.
Sad for me because I'm not going to see you next year.
I know. It's going to feel weird, definitely.
For sure. It's going to feel weird not seeing you around campus.
I know. It's going to feel weird not being here anymore, especially all the time that I spend on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just jumping into our first question. So in case anyone doesn't know, what is SGA?
So SGA stands for Student Government Association. Our tagline is for the students, by the students. So we are a student organization we're student organization. We're an organization on campus, and we are student-led, and we have amazing advisors that definitely help us along the way as well. Our main goal is to advocate for students on campus just like us. It can be something as small as a loose railing or the lighting on campus, security, whatever you feel like is a major issue. You can always let us know, and we will try to get to the bottom of it. Something that I definitely like to remind people is that we are students, and sometimes we don't know information, just like you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely a good point, because part of this podcast is giving information to prospective students, about things they can do on campus, they can join, because, not everyone knows, all the great things like SGA that they can join. So speaking of joining, so what got you specifically to join SGA?
Maybe a little bit of my major. It's not necessarily politics. We're not promoting any political party or anything. It's mostly just advocating for students on campus. I'd say that what made me want to join SGA is my passion for always wanting to help others. It's something that I want to continue doing beyond TW, and I found that SGA was a perfect opportunity to do that.
So I know you mentioned you being a political science major. Do you have to be a political science major to join? Because it is I always thought this was government, just government-based stuff. That's what I always thought personally.
Yes, that's a question that we get a lot, and I always try to let people know, right off the bat, you do not have to be in any political science or any type of government-related major or just interest in general. I mean, if you care about your peers and you want to make a difference on campus, then this is the org for you. We have a bunch of senators. I don't know off the top of my head how many, but we have College of Business, we have Education senators, we have Nursing senators, College of Health Sciences. We have all different types of majors, minors. We have fashion, sociology, business. It really just goes all over campus. And I think the more majors that we have, the better. That way we hear from all different sides of campus and not just from one side. So, yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I literally always thought SGA was you have to know about government. I always thought that personally. Whenever I looked at the bylaws, or I was hanging out with you, I was like, man, I really don't know if I can do this.
I know. It seems very serious, and it definitely is. But I think if you care at all about your peers or wanting to make a difference, then no matter what major you are, this is perfect for you.
Awesome. So for anyone listening that does want to join SGA, what does the application process look like?
So we have elections in the spring, and if you're coming in as a first year, you are supposed to be appointed by your peers. The application. So we do have Pioneer Engage. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with it. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Okay.
It's, if y'all don't know what Pioneer Engage is, it's a website you can go. You can literally type in Pioneer Engage and Google your phone, and it gives you every single organization on campus and just like their information and things like that.
Yes. So through Pioneer Engage is where you apply on the SGA page on that website. After you submit your application, it asks you a couple questions. You don't need a resume, but as much information as you can give from other involvements is best. After that, you will go through a small interview process, and then we will let you know.
Awesome. So I know you mentioned like the senator and obviously the president, but can you explain like the different roles within SGA?
Yes, so we do have Senate and Exec Board. Exec Board is kind of more like the face of SGA. And like I know I'm the president, but I don't get to make all the decisions. You know, I still have to listen to what Senate has to say, listen to what my Exec Board has to say. So I don't just get to call the shots, just like the presidency here. You know, he doesn't get to call the shots. It's like checks and balances. So Senate Board is made up of several different branches, and they get to advocate for their college. So College of Nursing, they get to bring their questions, comments, and concerns to the rest of the SGA. And if there's a change that they see or they need, we can work together to change that. And I think it's really great that there's a lot of different colleges coming together, because we get to hear from other sides of school. And I know it can be hard, you know, in your major, you're just like focused on you. But I think a lot of the things affect everybody and not just a specific major or a part of college.
Yeah, for sure. So what are some of the things that SGA does around campus, like specifically?
Okay, so we do host town halls where we listen to students' concerns, and they get to bring questions, and we bring guest speakers. We recently had one this past Monday, and it was talking about TW's master plan. And I know that parking is a big issue right now, but we kind of wanted to focus on TW's broader picture and the master plan, because we wanted to help students understand why these parking issues were happening and that they were only going to be temporary. And we brought a couple guest speakers. There was the architect that is making the new building, or thought of the new building.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then Amy Evans was there as well, but she didn't say anything.
How often do you guys have the town hall meetings?
So we try to have them once a month or about 3 times a semester. It is hard because we try to host other events as well, so it can be overwhelming to have so many events throughout 1 month. But definitely at least once a semester to 3 times.
I think that's cool that you all have the town hall meetings, because I didn't really know about it, obviously,
Yeah.
until like really being friends with you and you being SGA president, but like everyone gets to like have a voice, and I feel like it's just a good way for like, and it's like answer questions that any students might be happening about like anything on campus.
Yes, and we also make the topics of the town halls anything that we hear from students.
Oh.
So the parking one was a really big one. That's why we're like, okay, we need to make a town hall about this. We need to talk about this and let students know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you mentioned like some other events that you all are doing. So do you all have anything exciting coming up?
Not at the moment. A lot of senators are having their smaller events, but we don't have a big one right now. We just had our meet and greet, our SGA meet and greet as well this week, and we gave students the opportunity to come by and meet us and get lists of resources, how to get funding for the organizations, and just to get to know us in general. And I think it's really great. I think it went really well. A lot of students were very interested in SGA, and I look forward to the future and development of SGA.
Awesome. So the primary audience of this podcast is maybe like prospective students, like people looking at TW. So are there a lot of freshmen in SGA right now?
Right now, yes, there is. We actually have first year representatives. We don't call them freshmen, but yeah, sorry. We do have a lot of first year representatives. We have 3 right now, and they try to host events geared towards the first years, and they're not focused on a specific college, so we have different backgrounds coming in. And I think that it's better if you join your first year because you really get comfortable in SGA. You learn all of these skills, such as your email signature, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you're sending an email with no signature or just not in the right format, like, people are not gonna pay attention to your email.
Yeah.
So I think basics like that is really great, and just some professional developed skills that we try to help students with, and public speaking, planning, organization. This is definitely a lot of skills that you can learn. So I think if you can join your first year, I think that's best.
Yeah, so especially the email signature, because I know you specifically have gotten on to me for I still don't have an email signature, and she definitely gets on to me. So
yeah, I can definitely help you with that. No worries.
Thank you. So what made you want to be the president of SGA? Because I know you're saying there's all these different roles, but what made you want to be, like, in charge?
So my first year joining SGA, I was obviously very shy. I wasn't very good at public speaking, and I didn't really know a lot of people. You know, I came in right after COVID, so didn't have a chance to really get out there. And once I heard about SGA, I joined, and I think it's been the best decision that I've made. So I came in kind of like on the lower ranks, whatever that means, because we're all equal. And I think that I kind of just moved up. I went from residential senator to vice president of student organizations, and I just thought it was the right step towards my career, my academic career, and my professional career. I thought I was ready. And
so what is your academic career and, like, extra? Obviously I know because we're friends, but so maybe that can help, like, maybe people wanting the same career path as you, like joining SGA.
Well, SGA looks really great on a resume, and that is not the only reason that I decided to be president. Like I said, I've been in SGA for several years. SGA is taken very seriously across campuses throughout not just Texas, I believe the entire country, and it's very important for the development of school and for future endeavors.
Awesome. So that definitely sounds like a good resume builder to me as well.
Yes, it definitely is. And it's not just because, like, oh, I was in SGA. It definitely takes a lot of time and work. So the skills that you develop within SGA are going to help you, even if you decide not to be in it the year after, because it can be not time-consuming and not draining, but it definitely has to have a lot of focus to it, because you want to make sure that you're doing something that is going to benefit people and not just doing it for fun, which you can have fun, but but it's kind of serious. So having the opportunity to advocate for others is very important, and it's very serious. So everything that you develop in SGA, I think it's great.
Awesome. So speaking still about you, on the topic of you being president, so what is your favorite thing so far you've done as Madam President?
Definitely my favorite thing that I've done is speak at the first year convocation. I was up there with the chancellor and Dr. Menendez Grant. She's a director for student life, and the student regent, and a couple other important people. I got to give a little speech and let students know a little bit about myself and present my team, my exec board, and, well, your exec board. And I got to tell a little bit of my story on my journey of even standing there that day. And my parents were in the audience, so I felt really special. I think it's definitely been one of my favorite things that I've done.
That's so sweet, because, like, I'm sure you went to, like, your first year kind of, like, as a first-year student, and then now you're, like, giving this... Oh, because of COVID?
Yeah, mine was on Zoom. So I definitely watched it. It wasn't as glamorous as they are now, but I was like, wow, like, I never imagined myself being up there.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a really great experience, and I recommend it for everybody.
Awesome. So just one last question for you. So have you seen any personal growth in yourself from being an SGA?
Yes. Specifically this year, these past 2 years, I've done a lot of public speaking. And I know it's a big deal, because, like, everybody's staring at you. And I also spoke at the Redbud Awards, and it was so nerve-wracking. Even though I had a script, I was just reading. Like, I don't even know what I was saying.
Hey, you did good. I was there. I thought you did pretty good.
Thank you. And I think definitely public speaking and speaking to higher ups has definitely been a personal growth that I've seen, because I remember coming in as a freshman or like a first year, I never imagined myself doing the stuff that I've done now. And I can say that I'm pretty proud of myself. I've developed a lot of interpersonal skills, public speaking skills, organization skills other than just a planner. Like, there's a lot that goes beyond each one of those, and I've definitely seen a lot of growth within myself.
Awesome. So, right before we end it, is there anything else you want to add about just SGA to our audience? I'd say that even if you don't want to be an SGA, definitely participate in events and always bring awareness to things that are affecting you. Like I said, even if it's just a loose railing, say, hey, SGA, I've noticed this loose railing. I don't think there's enough ADA accessibility, or there's just some issues going on over here. Let us know, because we are here for you guys, and we always have our doors open. All right, y'all. That concludes our episode. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for coming on this week's podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It was truly an honor to be on this podcast with you, and I'm so sad I'm going to be leaving.
No! We're not talking about that right now. We're not going to talk about that.
Yes, not right now.
No time for sad feelings.
We still have time.
So, my name is Madeline, and thank you all for listening to yet another episode of TWT. Until next time, Pioneers.